Look around you. Turn on the news. What do you see? Conflict, unrest, economic uncertainty. War seem to ignite overnight, supply chains are disrupted, and the cost of living keeps rising. It's a global tapestry woven with threads of tension, fear, and a pervasive sense that something big is happening. Many ask, is this just normal? Or is there something more profound at play? For centuries, ancient texts, particularly the prophecies within the Bible, have spoken of a time when these very signs would emerge on a global scale, a time often called the end times. But what exactly does that mean? Is it about fire and brimstone, or something far more intricate, unfolding right before our eyes? Tonight, we're going to pull back the curtain on these biblical prophecies. We'll explore how today's geopolitical turmoil, the economic anxieties gripping nations, and the very headlines we consume aren't random events. They are, in fact, powerful echoes of ancient warnings, fulfillment of prophecies laid down thousands of years ago. We'll uncover how contemporary wars and global economic shifts are not just current events, but vital pieces of a much larger, divine puzzle. Are you ready to connect the dots? For thousands of years, God revealed glimpses of the future through his prophets. Men like Daniel, Ezekiel, and John were given visions of what would happen in the latter days. The period leading up to the return of Jesus Christ, these weren't vague predictions. They were specific, intricate details about global trends, political landscapes, and human behavior. The central challenge for us for centuries has been understanding these prophecies. They were given in symbolic language, sometimes spanning vast periods of history. How do we interpret ancient warnings for a modern world of satellites, global markets, and digital warfare? The problem is that many have dismissed these prophecies as irrelevant, too complex, or simply ancient myths. But the Bible consistently warns us to be watchful and discerning. Matthew 24:42, 1 Thessalonians 5-6. It says that as the time draws near, these signs would become clearer, like the blossoming of a fig tree. Matthew 24:32. We're told that people would be lovers of money to Timothy 3:2, and that there would be wars and rumors of wars. Matthew 24:6. The question isn't if these things would happen, but how they would manifest in our complex, interconnected world. The stage is being set, and the ancient words are beginning to leap off the page. The Bible is remarkably specific about the signs leading to the end of the age. Jesus himself warned in Matthew 24:6-7, "You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see to it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom." While wars have always existed, what we're witnessing today is a significant increase in frequency, intensity, and global interconnectedness. Think about it. Regional conflicts quickly impact global oil prices. Cyber warfare can disrupt entire nations. The scale of modern weaponry means even small conflicts carry immense destructive potential. We are seeing nations and alliances shifting, new power blocks forming, all leading to a heightened state of global tension. This isn't just about isolated battles, it's a systemic fulfillment of prophecies about a world in constant upheaval. But it's not just wars. The Bible also speaks extensively about economic turmoil in the end times. James 5:1-3 warns the rich about their wealth being plundered in the last days, for it will rot away. Revelation 6:5-6 describes a time when basic necessities will be incredibly expensive, implying severe economic hardship. A quart of wheat for a day's wages, and 3 quarts of barley for a day's wages. This speaks of rampant inflation and struggle for the common person. We see this in our world today: unprecedented global debt, inflationary pressures making basic goods unaffordable for many, and increasing economic disparity creating social unrest. Supply chain disruptions, energy crises, and the fragility of global markets are all contributing to a sense of financial instability that mirrors these ancient warnings. The tension is building, not just on battlefields, but in our homes and our wallets. It's a distress of nations, with perplexity, just as Luke 21:25 described. The stakes are incredibly high, as these events lead us to the very brink of prophecies being fully realized. The turning point in understanding these bewildering times comes when we realize they are not random. They are not simply a product of human folly alone. They are the fulfillment of a precise, divine timetable, laid out in God's Word. The climax of our understanding is this revelation. God has foretold these things, not to scare us, but to prepare us. When Jesus delivered his Olivet Discourse in Matthew 24 and Luke 21, he wasn't just predicting the destruction of the temple. He was outlining a clear sequence of signs leading to his glorious return. He spoke of wars, famines, pestilences, and economic distress, not as isolated events, but as the beginning of birth pains, Matthew 24:8. The very existence and escalation of today's wars and economic instability are direct, undeniable fulfillments of these ancient warnings. This is the moment of truth. The seemingly messy current events of our world are actually incredibly ordered from a divine perspective. The random chaos we perceive in our daily news is precisely what the prophets said would happen. The problem isn't that God isn't speaking, the problem is that we haven't been listening to his ancient voice, echoed so clearly in today's headlines. This is God's grand narrative unfolding, and he is revealing his plan piece by piece through the very circumstances we find ourselves in. The immediate consequence of this understanding is a shift from fear to preparedness, when we recognize that today's wars and economic upheavals are fulfilling ancient prophecy. It's not a cause for despair, but for discernment. The new status quo for the believer is a profound awareness that we are living in truly momentous times. This realization transforms our perspective. Instead of being consumed by the anxiety of the headlines, we can see God's sovereign hand at work, fulfilling his word exactly as he said he would. This understanding provides a solid foundation in an unstable world. It compels us not to panic, but to preach, not to retreat, but to prepare. For those who embrace these truths, there's a powerful transformation. Fear gives way to faith, confusion turns into clarity, and a sense of helplessness is replaced by a profound understanding that we are living in the time of prophetic fulfillment. We become witnesses, not victims, of unfolding history. Our focus shifts from the chaos on earth to the King who is coming to earth. This is the promised hope and peace that comes from truly understanding God's ultimate plan, even amidst global turmoil. So, what profound lessons do today's wars and economic realities, when viewed through the lens of ancient prophecy, teach us? Firstly, God is sovereign over history. Nothing happens by accident. The escalating conflicts and economic struggles are not random, but part of a divine blueprint. He has foretold these things, demonstrating his control over all creation and all timelines. Secondly, these events are not a cause for fear for believers, but a call to vigilance and readiness. Jesus didn't say be terrified when you see these things. He said when you see all these things, you know that it is near, right at the door, Matthew 24:33. And in Luke 21:28, when these things begin to take place, stand up and lift up your heads because your redemption is drawing near. These are signs of hope, reminding us that his return is imminent. Thirdly, our response should be one of spiritual preparation and purposeful living. This isn't a time to hoard, to despair, or to be consumed by earthly anxieties. It's a time to draw closer to God, to share the gospel of peace, and to live with an eternal perspective. Our focus shifts from building earthly kingdoms to investing in the eternal one. The fulfillment of these prophecies is a wake-up call to live intentionally for Christ in light of his soon return. Ultimately, understanding how today's wars and economy fulfill ancient prophecy gives us incredible peace. It's the peace of knowing that God is in control, that his word is true, and that every unfolding event is simply bringing us closer to his glorious consummation of all things. The unfolding of biblical prophecy in today's headlines isn't meant to cause panic, but to stir our hearts with a holy anticipation and a renewed purpose. If this video has brought you clarity, comfort, or inspired you to look at global events through a new lens, we would love for you to join our growing community. What global event do you see as a clear sign of end times prophecy unfolding? Share your insights and questions in the comments below. Your perspective enriches our discussion and helps others understand. If you found this video helpful or enlightening, please consider giving it a like. It helps us reach more people with these vital biblical truths. And if you desire more content that uncovers the profound wisdom of the Bible, explains complex prophecies, and offers practical guidance for living in these last days, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our upcoming videos. Join us as we continue to explore God's incredible plan for humanity. Thank you for watching, and may you live with peace and purpose, knowing the King is coming soon.